Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining me once again. Um, I have made the decision to get back out there. I started a channel, I think, in 2016, early 17 at a push. I think it was 2016. Why? At first, it started off just making some rants, some jokes about people like Tony Blair, doing impressions. You know, all my friends were loving it and saying, "Keep it up, Louis. We love your channel." And then one day, I saw a video of Tommy Robinson getting arrested at 4:30 in the morning by police at his family home. His wife is visibly there, blurred out. His kids, some of his kids are there, blurred out. Just Tom, you can only just about see Tommy. And this is for a camera phone. I expect Tommy quickly switched his camera on his phone and put it somewhere in the room where he could then, show people what goes on in his life. Sometimes, which is quite regular, he gets pestered, he gets harassed. This is 2006, late 2016, I would say. But my channel had not much traction before then, but that video went viral that I made. So then, because first thing I heard about Tommy Robinson, it's not all about Tommy, and he would say that himself. It's about the victims. But the people who highlight them have to be commended, even if they're the boogeyman. Yeah? Right, so back in 2009, stroke 10, I heard that there was a massive movement, bigger than a national front, a street movement, political street movement, because it is political it turned out to be anyway. Basically, it was just a movement about the rape and pillage of our youth by a certain section of British society who, for me, like Tommy has said recently, and this is why I got on board with Tommy from day one, because I listened to him speak for the first time in 2009, and his speech was 45 to 50 minutes long, and I listened to every word. I couldn't stop listening, and I agreed with everything he said. Then I fact-checked him. It's all true, but it was buried. I had to really go and find the right sites to find out whether this was true or not. Like Rotherham and Oldham and some of the first cases that were ever highlighted. No, some people will say, well, Tommy wasn't the first person to bring this up. I think there was a lady in Parliament who tried bringing it up before Tommy, and she was just obliterated. I'm also going to talk, there's one news channel I can tolerate. It's GB News. One, Charlie Peters does the grooming gangs, but he does a fantastic job. But Patrick Christie's is the only guy, he's the guy that drew me to the channel. right? That man has real talent. I do believe his hands are tied sometimes, quite a lot of the time. Because I do wonder sometimes why, like the other night, before I get on to this Newcastle case that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the grooming gang scandal that's going on now in Newcastle. Patrick, he does he talks about the issue in hand, and it was, why is it, and you know they always have three people sat on the couch. Normally one's a GB person, one's Conservative, one's Labour. Oh, the Labour ones, oh my God. They're just, you know, they almost think people are lying. I don't know how these people justify their opinions. It's weird. It's really weird. Right? Anyway, we know they're weird. They're weird. You know, normal people. Right? Anyway, Patrick basically said, and then he sat down to the panel, and then they tried explaining it, and none of them got it. I'm pretty sure it's in this book, Tommy Robinson, Enemy of the State. Also, I think that was released in 2015, was it? Anyway, there was a Dispatches Channel 4 documentary on this exact subject. Why is it that there is, every grooming gang scandal is in a Labour constituency, a Labour council, a Labour mayor? Why? Why? Why is it that it's not happening in Conservative constituencies? And basically they sat down to debate it, and I thought you were journalists. Do you actually know what I'm just about to say, the truth? Or are you too afraid to tell the truth? It's called the Islamic bloc vote. Now, any election, by-election, certainly the general election in this country, after Friday prayers, the Islamic community, I'm talking about here, the Imam will gather his congregation, I would say after. I don't know, but I would say that, I would say it would be a lead up as well. It wouldn't just be a one-off. It would be a lead up. And suddenly invited in, I don't know if they'd be invited in to the mosque if they were a woman. But man, yes, 100%. Either that MP who's going for that seat, let's say Andy Burnham, for instance, Sadiq Khan and others are mayors of some of our biggest, most powerful cities in the country, in Europe, right? In the world. And they're Labour. And for me, you know, Andy Burnham, a complete failed politician, but he managed to get his niche because he's behind the Islamic. their morals go completely out of the window for what votes. What I'm about to say is easily counteracted by you and the youth, Gen Z, millennial, baby boomers, all getting out to vote. The British bloc vote. People who have integrated into the... I'm not just talking about native Brits. I'm talking, because I'm from a multicultural family. Yeah? My grandmother came here from Belize in Mexico in the 1950s. Yeah? And she is the one that made me as patriotic as I am today. She lit the fire inside me. My grandmother loved this country so much. She missed home, she said to me. But anyway, let's get to the point in hand. The Islamic bloc vote, the Imam will tell congregation, you must vote for this man, Labour. And I think they will say, well, we want guarantees on X, Y, Z, and a list a mile long, you know, and God knows what is said in that. Who knows? Maybe only Allah knows, yeah. Police investigating new grooming gangs in Newcastle. A survivor calls for NCA, the National Crime Agency, to intervene. British FBI, the English FBI. Great idea. Fantastic. Take the power away from these corrupt police. They're either completely corrupt, like was exposed in the rape of Britain, again under Mr. Yaxley Lennon, Tommy Robinson. You know, that picture of them all outside the mosque with, you know, the gang leader next to the head copper. They're all smiling. It's so disturbing. It's going on in Newcastle, obviously, because Northumbria Police is investigating intelligence that active cases of grooming gangs operating in Newcastle. GB News can exclusively reveal the People's Channel has heard compelling testimony of grooming gang abuse taking place in the northeast city. Locals have shared concerns to this broadcaster. Oh, come on, when locals are phoning up saying something's got to be done, then that's just not normal, is it? That means there's a problem, and it's visible to people. Visible. Some of which have separately been shared with the police. So, away from the victims, locals have actually gone to the police about this. In correspondence exclusively with GB News, a chief inspector has told locals that the force is reacting to intelligence that does not raise some concerns regarding exploitation. Heard that one before, haven't we? Do you know what? You cannot keep getting away with this. and I'm talking to the police forces around the country. The officer has told GB News source in Newcastle that intelligence is being developed by the Police Force Specialist Exploitation Unit. Reports of active investigations in Newcastle come as a survivor from a historic case told GB News that they were concerned that police would not investigate abusers properly. Heard that one again, haven't we, before? And this is a biggie, you know. This is why these girls that come forward are so brave. The victim, who requested anonymity, told GB News she was called herself Nadine. That's not her real name. About how her trial collapsed after basic errors from the police who investigated the grooming gang scandal that was targeted. I mean, come on. I don't buy it. That is absolute corruption at the highest level from the police. Nadine, not a real name, like I said, I was told by the police with an apology that it was because the evidence was not stored correctly and there wasn't enough evidence. That was basically all I was told. There was other males that got involved. They were all linked and they all knew each other. I'll finish with this. I mean, it goes on, and you can look it up yourself on GB News website. Speaking exclusively to GB News, she said that recently announced national inquiry into grooming gang scandals should come to Newcastle, and the NCA, our FBI, National Crime Agency, should take the lead in the historic active cases. Cool. She backed Britain's FBI to come to Newcastle because even though it is the biggest, it's not in the biggest city, it's happening really badly, and there's probably a lot of survivors out there who might be able to reach out and if they haven't said anything. Now, I'm just going to leave it there because this video is getting longer and longer. I'm going to make a separate video on the Islamic bloc vote and how we counteract it if you've had enough. Yeah, I think Tommy deserves a massive apology. Well done to Nadine, I know it's not a real name, for coming forward. And, you know, do you buy what I've just read out? Oh, we lost evidence and that it just wasn't sufficient. All the perpetrators, or accused perpetrators, all knew each other. Ring a bell? Ding, ding, ding. That bell was larger than a boxing bloody bell. It's like the guy in town, oh, when he put ding, 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 ding. You know them old boys in town who shout, yeah. That's a great British tradition, that is. But that bell is loud, and that is the bell that is ringing in my head to make this video and to get back out there and confront some of these corrupt people in our establishments. To plea. Something new has to happen. Surely the National Crime Agency, if they want to put a stop or do their best to stop this. I have lots of ideas, but the video would probably be taken down if I said them all. But first of all, number one, the most important issue here, the powers have to be taken away from the police. Yeah. It's like when you're watching a show and the local sheriff in America is my case, but it's such a big case that the FBI gets federally taken over by 2 special agents, and and the sheriff gets all funny. This is my case, this is my murder investigation, but the feds say, well, sorry, it's now, you can still carry on policing and bring us any evidence and not lose it on purpose, by the sounds of it. Are they being bought off? Are they scared still of being called racist? Are they scared of being called Islamophobic? What is it? What do you think? I'll leave that for the comments below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I've got plenty more coming up. Plenty more happening. I'm back on the road. So if you have a story and you think it might interest me, it doesn't have to be about grooming gangs or anything. Just a politician who needs to be confronted peacefully and ask questions. Or and anything you can think of. Get in touch and we'll see. And I remember that idiot who got a bit, I do not mean aggressively with politicians. I mean, you have to make sure that is set in stone. Just ask questions that the mainstream media won't ask. And I'm going to make a video and tag Patrick Christie's. I'm going to look back at that session, and everyone who was sat on that couch will be hashtagged. You'll be on X, you'll be on YouTube, you might even be on TikTok. Who knows? Cheers, guys. Welcome to Citizen Louis.